Ladies and gentlemen, the following is another outstanding episode of the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. I'm your host, that ocean crossing, straight up bossing, flight catching, shot glass snatching. Where's he going next? Nobody knows. Three continents down, three more to go. No cap, straight facts, the worldwide starboy, Remy Blue. But it's not about me. You see, we have a special guest tonight who is actually a former DOA pure wrestling champion. He's actually faced bizarre opponents as bizarre as El Chupacabra, and he's also one of the few people who can actually match Alex Hammerstone power for power. And not only that, he is also a head trainer for Oregon Pro Wrestling. That's right. Shout out to OPW, doing great things over there, churning out the superstars of the future in pro wrestling. Everybody, welcome to the show, the real Flex, Malcolm Flex. How you doing tonight, sir?
Outstanding. Thank you, Remy, for that kind introduction. I really do appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, it's an honor to have you on, man. I've been watching you since the WCWC days, man. When you were teaming with Marcus Malone and y'all were doing y'all thing in the ring. I still can't believe I have you on the show right now, man. We really and truly do appreciate it. I wish my co-host could have been here with me to actually see this as well, too.
Oh, no worries. We're live. You can go back and watch it later, right?
Yeah, true. Yeah. So how's everything over there in the great state of Oregon?
It's actually pretty nice out here in Oregon. I just got back from Costa Rica. I think I brought some sunshine back from Costa Rica. We're actually at OPW right now, getting in beginner's class right now. So Ricky's in there right now, getting them all blown up. But everything's all love out here, and we'll just keep the grind going so we can continue to grow.
Awesome. I've seen y'all. Y'all are looking very impressive, and you're actually I guess you could say the third head trainer that. Well, no. Well, fourth, because we had somebody from SPW over in Sacramento. We've had somebody from Black and the Brave, and we've had Ricky on our show on our first season. Now you're like, yeah, we have you on here. So, yeah.
I'm not the head trainer. I mean, the head trainer is Ricky Gibson here. So I'm here as one of the trainers, but the head honcho is definitely Ricky, the workhorse. So yeah, he is the head professor here. So yeah, I get the privilege of learning from him and helping out with him and Eddie here, and we also have Levi Cooper here and a couple others as well.
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, Rock God, my apologies. I didn't know, man. I know you're one of the trainers, but Ricky, please, my bad. I didn't mean that.
It's all good. One of the main trainers, the three of us are, Ricky is the head trainer, so we go for that. So
Yeah. So one of the questions I just gotta ask, and I always ask, most of our guests, and I apologize if this is like the 100th time you've been asked it, but you know, how did it start for you? How did you become a fan of pro wrestling? Like, what was the match or the main event that you saw that made you decide, hey, they have a fan in me now?
To be honest, it was Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, WrestleMania 3, when Hulk Hogan body slammed Andre the Giant. Being a little guy, always getting picked on as a kid, a little skinny kid in, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, and being able to see him slam Andre the Giant, being able to take that mammoth and put him down. And it was just all, him flexing his muscles and eating his Wheaties and, shouting out. And he was all about the kids and everything. That's what got me introduced into pro wrestling, where I was like, yeah, I dig this. And so I watched it any chance I got. I was one of those ones that I like to do things on my own. So I was always outside doing sports and everything and catch wrestling whenever I could.
Awesome. That was a great time to watch wrestling back in the 80s. You had so many, yeah, you had so many larger than life, characters, and it was just a very like magical, I guess you could say magical time to see, all those guys, just, come out there with, their own gimmicks and whatnot, and pretty much be very over with the crowd. You know, I could only imagine how it was being in that crowd for that WrestleMania, which had many classic matches like Ricky Steamboat and Randy Savage. I will never forget this one, Junkyard Dog and Harley Race. That was a that was a funny one too.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah, it has evolved, but it always stays the same. It's pro wrestling. Go out there and compete for the largest purse. You win, you get the larger purse. So that's what it's all about.
So growing up, did you ever get to like go to any of the WWE events, or were you only like just able to see them on TV?
No, just TV. I'm a military brat, so I had the privilege of being overseas for a while. So all I knew there was
Okay.
time. Uh, it wasn't until the '90s where I even learned about WCW, and then it was WCW, WWE now, but WWF then, and taking a liking to Bret Hart, Ric Flair, The Rock, those guys, taking on those characters and taking on their traits and abilities in the ring is something that I enjoyed as a child. So whenever I could, nothing live. I didn't even know about the Independence until 2009, and
Okay.
that's when I broke in because I did all my backup plans first. Backup plans were go to college, got into joined the military, got into law enforcement. So when I got the opportunity to find a school, I did that at WC down in Salem.
Awesome. And by the way, congrats on getting that, on going to college, and also, thank you for actually thank you for actually serving as well. I did, several years in the Navy as well too. So, I commend you for actually stepping up and
Yeah.
doing that. Yeah. Um, but yeah, that's awesome that you got the backup plan and everything, and then you decided to go into wrestling. Not many people do that. They're like, okay, as soon as I get out of high school, going straight to wrestling school. That's what I'm gonna do. But I commend you for actually, having a backup plan as well, just in case, it didn't work out for you as well. So, the WCWC, how was it over there, man? Because y'all put me on to so many like wrestlers, like yourself, Hammerstone, Mikey O'Shea, Richard Wright, even the Rock God Ricky Gibson and Eddie Pearl, and I keep calling him. I always call him Matt Vandergriff. Damian, Damian Drake. Is it Damian Drake?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Damian Drake. So,
Vegas.
so what was it? So what was it like training over there, and getting to wrestle on their weekly episodic shows and whatnot?
It was love. I learned so much there with that locker room there. That's why I stayed there for so long. With having the guys come in from out of state, just learning them what they did in the ring, how they come up with what they're doing, and just breathing and just craving all the knowledge I can get. It was a once in a lifetime experience that I do not take for granted. When you got guys like Stryker, D'Lo Brown, um, Gangrel coming in there to help us out to grow, that was some knowledge that was very valuable that we get to pass on here. Definitely had to do a lot of brushing up and everything. Once that did close up, and so I joined like a lucha fed out here, Portland Lucha Libre. Learned some lucha there and did some polishing during COVID with Ricky and Eddie. A lot of it. It was mindset, just getting our mindsets changing, and they took off running with it, and then we opened up the school there shortly after. So as far as WC though, it was learning experience, just learning the business in and out, learning a lot about myself, and being able to grow, be able to pass that on now.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I don't know if the WCWC is ever going to come back. I wish they would, because it was great seeing them. But I gotta say, man, they trained you well, because I saw that match you had at Hammerstone. Man, you went to that was like watching the Clash of the Titans, man. Like, I saw you do a spine buster on this guy, and I was like, yo, man, Arn Anderson, you did a spine buster so good. Arn Anderson would have came up and probably shook your hand and be like, hey, you did well.
No, I
That
appreciate.
was that was a great match.
That's what I do in the gym. You lift weights, lift heavy weights, and you put them down. I am a world record holder in the powerlifting fed out here, Wall Duel. I have a world record in deadlift and bench. So I mean, it kind of comes natural to picking up bodies and putting them down.
Yeah, man. I wasn't even expecting. I was like, this guy's going against Hammerstone, a guy who, my personal nickname for him, and I would never say this to his face, is Thor, because he reminds me so much of, the superhero Thor. So I'm like, wow, Flex. Wait, I gotta see his match with Malcolm Flex and Hammerstone, and you went toe to toe with this guy. Like you were not playing with him. I
Oh
was
no,
like, wow.
we go in there to compete, man. Like I said at the top of this, the name of the game is to win. Whoever wins gets the biggest purse. So I mean, I don't care who it is that steps across from me. I'm trying to win every time, no matter what. So yeah, going toe to toe, it just comes natural. We're just out there to compete. You there? Did I lose
Awesome. I'm here.
you? Okay,
It's kind of cutting in and out.
okay.
Yeah, but yeah, that was a pretty great match, man. So you've actually wrestled in mostly Oregon. I believe you may have wrestled in California, as as a matter of fact, probably this past March for
I believe I
WrestleMania
saw.
week, right?
Yeah, I was out there messing WrestleMania week. I believe I saw you out there. Yeah, I was out there for Relentless or POW. So Vinny and Funny Bone were having a match out there, and I went out there to police some things, and I did do dark arts out there with Super Beast as well. So yeah, I do get around a little bit. I keep it kind of quiet. I've gone up to Canada. I've been in Idaho, Washington, California, Vegas. Just got back from Costa Rica, and who knows, you might be seeing me overseas more often here pretty soon.
Well, I'll tell you what, Malcolm, if you ever get to Japan, I was stationed in Japan for 3 years. I don't know if
Oh,
you went to. I don't know if you've been there yet. If you have,
no, not
one
yet,
thing
but
I would
look soon, soon. Fingers crossed.
One thing I'd recommend for you to do, brother, you gotta get your Ribeiro jacket, man. You gotta get it.
A what
Like
jacket?
it is the So the Ribeiro jacket, I guess it's a bit of an unofficial rite of passage for pro wrestlers. Hulk Hogan has done it. John Cena has gotten his. So it's Ribeiro Steakhouse, and I think the owner's a huge wrestling fan
Okay,
and MMA fan too as well. And all wrestlers that go there, they get the Ribeiro jacket.
okay,
It's only for wrestlers that are in the industry. And John Cena has gotten his. Hulk Hogan has gotten his. Stan Hansen from way back when has one too as well. Hammerstone went over there and he said he got it, but he couldn't fit his arms through. His arms were too big.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, you definitely got to make sure you get your Ribeiro jacket. But and also, man, speaking from experience, first hand experience, if you get bookings over there, man, take them with a smile and go. You will enjoy it. You will be amazed by what you see over there.
Oh, I believe it. I appreciate it. Yeah, hopefully, we can get out there soon. Like I said, we don't know that yet. All we can do is just work harder and get our names out there a little bit more and make sure that we don't disappoint. And if we get the opportunity, kill it out there.
Yeah. But speaking of traveling, I also saw that you were born in New York. I don't know if that's true,
Yeah,
but
upstate New York, New York. Um, I was up. My father had me right out of high school, and we moved to Washington State. Then we later moved to Germany for about 7 years. So I know Germany a little bit more than I do the States. I didn't come back over here till junior high, so it's yeah, new upstate New York. So I don't know too much about it. I was only there for about 2 or 3 years as a kid, and I haven't gone back. My grandmother did just call me yesterday, so I think she wants me to come up there.
awesome. So would you be down to like, come back to like your birth state and, show them who the real Flex is, the New York wrestling scene? Because I
Listen,
know some places they would like to have you over here.
I would love. I'd like to go anywhere that will have me. Like I said, it'll be an honor and privilege, and all I'm going to do is come bring some love the best way I can. New York is definitely one of the places on my bucket list to go and work. I can say, I'm back home. I know y'all don't know who I am, but I'm home. One of my bucket list things to do is Madison Square Garden. I asked a couple guys who've actually worked there what it was like there, and it's like it's, you're battling the ghost. It's all about the ghost in there and the history. So I want to be a part of that to be able to feel that.
Well, I hope you can actually get back here as well. I hope you get that opportunity as well too. We'll definitely be cheering you on as well. Whether it's as a solo performer, or I don't know if this team is still around, but or as one half of the Northwest Express. You guys had a good thing going there.
We did have
So
a good thing going. I I miss him a lot. He hasn't Marcus Malone. Yeah, he hasn't been around for the last 5 years. He has a son and he's taking care of his kids. So I commend him for that.
okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I've been out of touch with certain because yeah, like COVID and everything happened, and me being in the military at the time, we were like all like, okay, our schedules got extended because people were it was a pandemic, so we had to be
Right.
like on guard all the time and so on. So yeah, there was that kind of brief gap where I wasn't too like up to date with certain things and so on.
Right.
Yeah. So you've been doing this for a while now. You've wrestled like I said, El Chupacabra, who was one of the most, unorthodox opponents a wrestler can have, and you wrestled powerhouses like Hammerstone and so on and so on. Um, who would you want to face? Who are the next five people that you would want to face um, in professional wrestling?
We're just talking about all of professional wrestling, or we're just talking about the independents right now.
All of professional wrestling.
All of
It's pro wrestling. Anything could happen. So yeah, let's go
um,
all professional wrestling.
I've shared the locker room with Jacob Fox too. He's like one of the main ones on my list that I like to get at. Um, then Calvin Tankman is definitely one of them as well. So a couple of different house fights. Who else? Pentagon Jr. He was just up here at Prestige. So yeah, he's one of the ones that I like to go face to face with. Man, there's so many others. Roman Reigns, you know, Rollins, Suzuki. So, yeah, why not? Anybody.
Awesome. Well, I definitely hope you get a chance to wrestle all those men. It could happen. Pro wrestling is unpredictable, so it could definitely happen. And I'll be looking forward to seeing all those matches happen and so on. Especially Jacob Fatu, man, that guy is a beast. Woo!
Yeah,
I
he
would
is.
not want to cross that guy. So
Yeah, I I like the family heritage they got going on. So to be able to go in there and knock them down a peg, yeah, it'll be nice.
so Oregon Pro Wrestling, man. You guys are doing great things over there. I've gotten to speak with several of your students, the Flaming Aces, um, Amira, who I just saw, um, even referee Bradley, who I actually got to meet in person. Also got to meet Amira too as well, and King Naja and all that. So I got to ask you, how does it feel to first obviously you came in as a student, but now you're actually the teacher. How does it feel to be in that role where now you're passing on the knowledge you got from WCWC to students who are looking to be the future of pro wrestling?
I don't know if you're a parent or not. I'm a parent, and for me, they're like my kids, and my kids taught me a lot about myself. Growing up throughout the years. One of the main reasons why I didn't go out on the road a lot because I wanted to watch my kids grow up. Now that they're grown, it's like let's go. But here at Oregon Pro, they taught me more than anything. I learned a lot about being a teacher. Um, I learned a lot about what I do in and outside the ring, being able to be the trailblazer for them and make good decisions. They've taught me more, and it's been very fulfilling to be able to coach some of these guys in here, guys and gals. But we say guys and gals, but we teach wrestlers. It doesn't matter what your gender is. You come in here, you learn how to be a wrestler. So it's very fulfilling, really is. I tear up every time I see them go out and match and have great matches. Every time they go out there, so it's like I said, very fulfilling.
Yeah, that's that. I just gotta say, I don't know if you've ever been thanked by anybody outside of the school, but I just gotta say thank you for doing that. Not a lot of wrestlers actually. I always say there's a lot of wrestling schools, but then there's a few wrestling schools because not every wrestler actually takes the time to train, open a whole school and train the future of pro wrestling. And then it's not only that, it's also a matter of, and I don't mean to speak bad about anybody, I'm not speaking bad about anybody, but it's also a matter of how good of a trainer you can be. I always say this, yeah, you may be a great actor, but can you direct? That's the thing. So um I just gotta thank you for that, and y'all keep on doing the great work. I've seen, man, I've seen Amira chop people. I'm like, jeez, like, oh, Oregon Pro Wrestling, y'all don't play.
Oh
Y'all
no,
bring the viciousness.
that was like I
Woo.
was one of the main things we were talking about, like, especially with her. We're like, you come in here and you're going to be a wrestler. Um, we don't care about anything else. Like, you're going to come in here, you're going to throw bowls like everybody else. You're going to get picked up, put down, just like everybody else. There was no sympathy with that, and she's grown and is thriving because of it. So, yeah, sky's the limit. What you put into it is what you're going to get, and they keep putting in the work and get better, and they're going to keep getting the opportunities they get. The more and more they put in the work.
Yeah, I talked to Kikio, the Fallen Flower, when she was here in Brooklyn for Battle Club Pro, and she was like, she wanted to wrestle Amira, or I think she was gonna wrestle Amira. I'm like, you sure you want that? That girl got some crazy chops. I'm like, yeah, bring it. I'm like,
Oh yeah,
I know Kiki could hold her own too. So that's going. If it hasn't happened yet, it's going to be a classic. I'm actually jealous. Like, I'm all the way over here. Y'all get that classic right over there in Oregon or the PNW. I'm like, man,
yeah.
jeez.
I tease Amira all the time and call her a little mini Flex. Um, I believe she's up on Kikyo right now. The Power Slam is something else. She's got the world's strongest slam going right now.
Yeah, y'all definitely got a lot of great talent over there. So I gotta ask you. Speaking of Oregon Pro, I asked Charlie Avell, who was a guest on our show 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, who from the Pacific Northwest or the West Coast we should have on our show. And thanks to him, he recommended yourself, the Flaming Aces, Amira, King Naja, and Brad Lee. And we've actually had Stevie Bay Knox on our show too, who was a ring announcer. I'm like, oh, you're a ring announcer? Come on down. We want to talk to you as well. So that's how we do it, Ringside Society. Who are some people that you think we should have on our show ASAP from your school that have debuted or
Uh,
anything?
there's a tag team out of here. I don't know if you've heard of them yet, and if you haven't, you will. The Hammer Brothers, Jack and
Oh, I've
Slim.
seen them.
Yes, great talents. They should be all over the place pretty soon. I believe they are the DOA tag champions currently. But those two are pretty good at what they do, and those are two that should have on your show. You should have a nice, fun show there. And then we also have Joe out of here, who's also just debuted about a month ago and is just killing it right now. He was just at Reactivate tagging with Frankie Dove. So Joe, Frankie Dove, those are two other guys that are actually working right now and going to do big things here pretty soon.
Okay, his name is just Joe.
You know what? I believe so. Joe Brody.
Okay.
Yeah, Joe. Yeah, Joe.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely. I've seen the Hammer Brothers before. Um, they're pretty cool. They remind me of. I'm like, wait a minute, they did the Super Mario Brothers thing. That's pretty awesome. Um, I don't know if that's what they did, but it reminded me of the Super Mario Brothers, villains, the Hammer Brothers. That's cool as well.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah, so those I said the Hammer Brothers. I said Joe and the Frankie Dove. We got King Naja who's out there. Shout out to the delegation. Derek
I had him
Shaw.
on,
Oh, did
had
you
him on
already?
there too. Oh
Okay.
yeah,
Derek Shaw is another one. I know he's not a student here, but he's one of the trainers here as well. So he's somebody else you can definitely have on there. Get him out there.
yeah. We've had Derek Shaw here before. I
Okay.
was surprised that he was our first Fale Dojo student that we first ever Fale Dojo student we had on here. Our only
Okay.
one actually. Yeah.
Joey Thornton. That's his name. Thanks, Nata. He's always looking out.
He said what was his name?
Uh, Joey Thornton.
Joey Thornton. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, because I've been looking to like I was listening to I don't know if you probably know Gabe Sapolsky. He had a spaces on Twitter. He was like, yeah, the West Coast doesn't get a lot of love, but and they're really great over there. So I'm like, let's see. My job has me coming home till like 10:30, 11 o'clock, and 11 o'clock is actually 8 o'clock over on the West Coast. Yeah, let's make that happen. So yeah, that's what we've been doing ever
Right.
since.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just gotta say, man, I'm not gonna keep it in longer. I know you guys got class and everything, but I just gotta say, first off, Malcolm, thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to, be a guest on our show and talk about wrestling and your career and everything. And also thank you for, taking the time out to actually, spread the knowledge that you gained from the WCWC to, you know, the students at Oregon Pro Wrestling. you know I, as a fan, definitely appreciate that as well too, and I wish you nothing but the absolute best in your career. I hope you get to wrestle all those guys you named. I know it's going to happen because guess what, pro wrestling is unpredictable. So I
Yeah.
definitely, I'll definitely be rooting for you and all that. And hope a lot of great hope getting to travel the whole world, and wrestling and whatnot. Before we shut this show down, I just gotta ask, where can fans find you on social media when they want to, find out your next appearances, purchase Malcolm Flex merchandise? And where can bookers and promoters find you when they want to book you for their shows as well? And also, one more thing, where can aspiring wrestlers also, who can they contact when they want to join the Oregon Pro Wrestling School as well too?
Okay, so let me see if I can do this in order. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter. Instagram, I believe I have Flex for Fit as one of them. It's my personal training page, and then also Malcolm Flex on Twitter as the Flex brand. I also have a link tree on my Instagram where you can find and connect through everything, my store Frontier, all my merch and all. As far as inspiring wrestlers trying to come on school, reach out to the school page. Either we have our website, or you can go to the school page on Instagram, Oregon Pro Wrestling School, as well. I believe I'm missing something in there also. You asked me something there in the middle.
Merchandise.
Yeah, oh yeah, Store Frontier. Store Frontier right now. I do have a shirt out on Pro Wrestling Tees as well. Or you can just, yep. We are making our own things as well here. So we're delegating a task out there to people to send out to people. You never know. I might be overseas and taking orders from there and getting someone over here to send them out.
Awesome. See, y'all definitely heard the man. He actually has, merchandise available. So y'all get out there. If you can't make the shows that Malcolm is on, the other way you can, the best way, the other best way you can actually support is cop the merchandise. It's always, and that way, when he gets signed by AEW or WWE or Impact, and somebody goes, hey, look, yeah, or New Japan, and then somebody goes, "Yo, I just got the new Malcolm Flex shirt from New Japan Pro Shop or AEW Shop or Shop WWE or whatever they call their websites." You can be like, "Man, I had a shirt from before he got signed. Man, I'm a real fan." You know what I'm saying? It's always good to support somebody at the beginning of their journey. Just like how you see how I remembered him from WCWC. Yeah,
Yeah,
that definitely proved that that's something right there.
I appreciate it.
So Yeah, y'all definitely make sure you go out here, support, check out the shows, cop that Malcolm Flex merchandise and all that. And support indie wrestling, man. That's where 99% of your AEW and WWE and New Japan stars come from. It's the indie scene. So it's always great to support the indie scene as well too. And with that being said, it's about that time for us to shut this show down. My eyelids are getting heavy. My stomach is rumbling. That means it's time for dinner and a nap. Maybe not in that order, but before I partake in those activities, if you want to find me on social media, not that I say a lot of cool things, but I do go to a couple of cool places. I might be hitting London later on this month. You can definitely find me on Twitter and Instagram at the Remy Blue. For those of y'all that want to follow me, and I'm also on. I always forget the Facebook. I'm also on Facebook under the alias Remy Blue as well. You can find me on there. Our podcast is also on social media. We're on Twitter and Instagram at Ringside Society, Twitch at Ringside Society 2019. We're on Facebook as a Facebook group. We're also on Spotify, and we have a Teespring store where we sell official Ringside Society merchandise. We have T-shirts, we have tank tops, we have hoodies, we have long sleeve shirts. We even have coffee mugs for your favorite warm beverage. So definitely check us out. Purchase some merch. All proceeds go back into keeping this show afloat. They do not go back into our pockets. We guarantee you that. And last but not least, we also have a YouTube channel where we have cool interviews like this one, the one we had with Amira, King Naja, Charlie Avell, the Flaming Aces, and referee Bradley and Stevie Bay Knox. All those interviews I just mentioned there and many other cool ones you can find on our YouTube channel. All you got to do is go to YouTube, type in Ringside Society, and once you see that really good looking dark blue and light blue yin yang sound with the blue flames around it, that's when you know it's us. So make sure you subscribe to all our videos because we got a lot of cool stuff coming up and you don't want to miss a thing like Aerosmith in 1998. But with that being said, we just want to thank everybody tuning in live tonight. Thank you very much. Really and truly appreciate it. We strive on being one of the best wrestling podcasts a wrestling fan could and should listen to, and we will not stop doing that. To those of you that are going to listen later on, we get a chance. Thank you very much in advance. And those y'all that hate us, can't stand us, really and truly wish we'd go away. Well, like myself at the Golden Corral, we're not going anywhere for a while. And with that being said, we just want to let everybody know, myself, Rob Bass, and Kathy Knight, we know that everybody and their grandparents and their parents have a podcast, but we're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. And as a matter of fact, we're not just any podcast. Hashtag, we are not the same. So with that being said, I'm going to say it one time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture, one time for Oregon Pro Wrestling and the greatness that they are doing over there in Oregon, preparing pro wrestling's future. And one time for former, and he's probably going to get it back real soon after I saw that Hammerstone match, DOA Pure Wrestling Champion, the real Flex, Malcolm Flex. We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society, and we will be back next week with another impressive guest on another impressive episode. But until then, we just have 4 favors for y'all to do for us. Stay safe, stay healthy, make goals, and keep winning. We out. Peace.